Hello, 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 everyone. I had that weird look on my face because initially it said that it had not connected, but it looks like we are live. Let me go ahead into the group to verify that we are in fact live here. For those of you whom I have not personally or formally met, my name is Rita Stewart, and of course I am the host of our group here, Money Matters and Tea, and I'm so excited about having the opportunity to share with you all tonight. This particular broadcast is specifically for our group of women as it relates to our money matters. And I'm excited tonight because we're going to talk about an article that I shared. I think I shared it yesterday in the group. And then earlier today, I announced that I was going to come on live so that we can have a discussion about it. So for those of you who catch this on the replay, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to still chime in as I guide us through the discussion, and I will be checking your comments as we go forward. So again, thank you. My name is Rita Stewart, and I am grateful for the opportunity to come alongside you in this particular instance to support you with your financial legacy. So tonight, the financial economics of women, or for this broadcast, and specifically, let me pull up the article. Let me pull up the article that I'm specifically referring to tonight. And for those of you who need to know, you can scroll down quickly within the group to find the article. And also I announced it on the event page that I had scheduled for this particular live broadcast. So you can find it there as well. But again, I'm grateful to be with you guys. I have made my lovely, lovely, lovely cup of tea. This evening, it is specifically a herb blend. I believe I've shared that particular blend with you before. And it is echinacea, dandelion, red clover, and raspberry. And again, like I said to you before, I actually make that up in a batch, and that way I can heat it or serve it cold, whichever way I prefer. And now my husband is drinking it as well, so it doesn't last me as long. I generally can have a batch that lasts 2 days, but it goes a little bit faster now. But I'm happy that he's joining me. So the title of the article is The Economics of Healthy Aging for Women. And this article just really got my attention. The author is Carrie Hannon, and she is an entrepreneurship and personal finance expert. So just so you know who the original author is and what I'm speaking for, which article I'm speaking from. But I encourage you, ladies, I truly encourage you to go back and read the article, because there are some eye-awakening topics that we need to be aware of as women. There are 4 questions that I'm going to pose for you. What were you surprised about as you read the article? What concerns were brought to your attention as you read the article? What experiences or that have you personally had or have you witnessed as it relates to the article? And then what hopes do you have as a result of having insight to this information, and what some of the possibilities or the solutions could be going forward? So what I'm going to do to guide us through this is walk through answering the questions as I saw them in reading the article. And again, I would invite you to chime in. I would invite you to invite other women to join us here at Money Matters and Tea, so that we can continue the conversation about our personal finances and our financial legacy. It all starts with the conversation and knowledge. And as a result of us being open and having the conversation, we all grow, women. We all position ourselves to have a very strong and secure financial legacy. So there are a couple of themes that ran through this article specifically, and I have my notes here, talking about things that cause us to be in the critical mode as it relates to financial issues for women. And that's as it relates to the topic of the labor force, pay equity. We always know that's been a heated topic of discussion. Our health, and how healthy we remain and take care of ourselves, and then financial security, our current and as well as our long-term financial security. And the challenges that many women face as related to this, as written in this article, and as we are probably aware of from the marketplace, is that of women staying in good health, women becoming wealthy and being able to maintain that and find security in that as it relates to our finances. So what surprised me? What surprised me? And go ahead and note what surprised you in the article as well. Again, let me go back for a second to make sure that everything is coming up well in the group before I proceed, because that's important. That is important. Thank you for your patience. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your patience. Okay, so what surprised me? What surprised you in the article? For me, gosh, I've heard the notion, or I'm aware of the notion, because we have this educational forum where we talk about statistics that happens or that exists as it relates to women in finance and our personal finances. But something that surprised me about this article, because I've looked at this stat and I'm aware of this particular stat, but it's the statistics where women live longer than our male counterpart. Okay, we are probably aware of that, right? We tend to outlive our spouses. We tend to outlive our male partners. However, what this article pointed out that really surprised me was the fact that the gap is closing. The gap is narrowing as it relates to how much longer we live in comparison to how much longer our male counterpart lives. And that was a little startling to me. And the reason that is the case, there are two concerns for me, and two concerns that were pointed out in the article specifically. And one is because of toxic stress, and particularly toxic stress as it relates to the caregiving that we do as women. And we all know that we are presented with the opportunity to care for our children. We are also presented with the opportunity to care for family members, our parents, our in-laws. In some cases, it could be our siblings, and even at some point in time, not only our children as we are rearing them, but then it could be a case where we may be in a position where we have to care for our young adult children. So toxic stress is having an effect on the health and wellness of women. So hence, we tend not to be living longer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just checking right quick to make sure I am not ignoring you, because I cannot see you. I am actually recording this on my phone, but I cannot see if there are any comments coming through. So forgive me. I wanted to confirm that I don't want to leave anyone hanging. So give me 1 second. I appreciate your patience with that. Okay, there we go. Thank you. So toxic stress as it relates to caregiving. And then the second thing that adds to the fact that there is a decrease in the gap between the lifespan of female versus male, our male counterparts, is that of our career and our financials. There's a grave concern for us as it relates to managing to our career and our financial stability. There is this notion in the workplace, the article pointed out, that employers don't seem to understand the importance of supporting their employees with caregiving, the fact that they have to do that. There, of course, we experience a loss of income, that income stream when we have to come out of the workplace to care for a loved one in any capacity. And again, that puts a strain on the careers, that puts a strain on the financials of women. So what surprised me was the fact that the gap is narrowing. And I want you to go ahead and make sure you comment what surprised you. And then, and tell me this. Go ahead and place the one in the comments if it's not a surprise to you. If you can actually see the fact that there is a narrowing, that women are experiencing more stress, toxic stress as it relates to caregiving or as it relates to their careers or personal finances. Go ahead and give me some indication that that's not surprising to you. And then, of course, it's also a concern, caregiving and toxic stress. And then the third question I had asked was, what have you experienced? What are your personal experiences? What have you witnessed with your peers? What have you witnessed within your family structure as it relates to the struggle that women have with personal finances? And I know some of you are aware. I've shared in the group from time to time or on my business page from time to time that I am in the process of a caregiving situation with my grandmother. And it is challenging. It can be very challenging from a financial perspective. It can be very challenging from an emotional perspective. I no longer have a young child in my home. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to go ahead and chime in or leave comments, and I'll be watching for any comments you make and try to respond. If not, I promise that I will go back to your comments and respond. But I don't have any young children in my home at this point in time to care for, but I do have the responsibility. My grandmother isn't in my home. However, I am still the primary person who manages to her care. And again, financially, it's a struggle. Emotionally, that is the hardest part. It's a struggle because you walk this balance of being respectful to her as my elder and as my grandmother, but also having to be firm with her because I'm responsible for taking care of her. And just as much as Granny does not like to have a shot, I don't like experience having to watch her have a shot. So I have these emotional challenges that I manage too. And then from a financial perspective, there are incidentals that come up that you find that you have to take care of. There are several doctor's appointments. She's 97 now, Christmas baby. And so therefore her number of doctor's appointments, while to be honest, she's relatively healthy considering her age, but she is able to still go out to her doctor's appointments and everything. So 3 to 4 visits per week to her home. And I am now independent. I am no longer in the workforce as it relates to corporate America or no longer on staff in a congregation. So therefore, my earnings are all independent. So yes, that is a financial strain. That can be or has been in some cases because it wasn't something that I prepared for. It wasn't something that I gave forethought to, that someday I'm going to have to take care of my grandmother and it's going to have a financial impact. And that's why I want us to have the conversation right now. We all need to, ladies, be thinking about, who our loved one is and what are the conversations we need to be having now to support ourselves and as well as our loved ones with their long-term care situation when that comes around. I have told the story also, but I have a friend who has recently positioned herself to take care of her long-term care because she says she has an only child and her child is a male and she doesn't want to leave that burden on that child. So she has positioned herself where it will not be as much of a financial strain on him. And she has positioned herself in terms of how her long-term care will be managed too. Now, the other thing that stood out in the article that I want to point out is there is, and many of us know this, as it relates to the different cultures and race, there is some disparity as it relates to the fact that Caucasian women earn 77 cents on a dollar compared to our male counterpart, whereas Hispanic women earn 56 cents on the dollar in comparison to our male counterparts. And then Black African-American women earn 64 cents on the dollar in comparison to our male counterparts. So there is some discrepancy as it relates to culture and race amongst the women across the board. The other factors that were pointed out in the article were where discrepancies come about and where there could be a strain on women in finances. Hello, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to comment and let me know what your thoughts are about the conversation. But as it relates to marriage, as it relates to life expectancy, and as it relates to discrimination in the workforce. So there's a disparity between Caucasian women, African-American women, and Hispanic women as it relates to those particular areas in the marketplace, whether you're married, whether or not, what your life expectancy is, and also the discrimination that occurs within the marketplace. The thing that we have the opportunity to do, and the answer to the question that was asked in the article, what is it that we're going to do to ensure that we can enhance our financial situation as we continue to go through life, ladies, as we continue along the journey of life? And there were two things that were pointed out in the article that brought hope. And one is that of education, that the number of women who are receiving or attaining education or enhancing their skill set, whether it be from a degree or a certain set of skills or program, that is increasing. So therefore it enhances our ability to increase our earnings base. And then the second thing that was pointed out is there's definitely an opportunity for us to break through this taboo of discussing money. I mean, that's why I have this group. And that's why I'm really encouraging you to invite other friends to join us in this group, to have the conversations, to ask the questions, because the topic of money is so taboo, but yet that is a major, major contention in the lives of families, of women, and of, marriages, a major bone of contention. So if one way the article describes or shares the opportunity for us to break through that was, one, if you're uncomfortable about having the conversations around personal finances and monies, then go ahead and get you a mentor. Get somebody whom you can talk to have the conversations that you need to have. And then on the flip side of that, it's recommended that if you're very comfortable with the conversation of money, which I am, then be a mentor to other people. Go out there and make yourself available to have the conversations that women need to have. And that's what I'm doing here. That is my hope for us in this group. I want us to have the conversations so that we can have a very healthy financial dynamic for ourselves and our families. So therefore, I'm willing to do the educating. I'm willing to have the conversations. I'm willing to come on Facebook Live to have those conversations with you. And also understand and know, and this is just occurring to me to share with you, that I will be launching Money Mommy and Me, a mommy. I always get myself tongue twisted when I say it. But I'm going to be launching a program that will give the opportunities to teach mommies how to have the conversations even with their children, and grandparents how to have the conversation with their children about money. Okay, so Money Mommy and Me will be launched soon. We also have a forum called Wine, Women, and Wealth. So you will see invitations for that particular forum, and our flagship Money 101, where we teach families and women about all things as it relates to money. so that we can all have strong financial legacies. So again, if you have not read the article, I really encourage you to read the article. If there is something that surprised you, go ahead and notate to me what that is so we can have a dialogue in the comments. What concerned you that you read in the article? What experiences have you witnessed? And then finally, what hope do you have? And I do have hope as it relates to the fact that more women would be willing to have the conversation about money, and more individuals who have the insight and the experiences will be willing to mentor women and spend time with them and educate women about healthy and wise solutions to having a wonderful financial legacy. So that's what I wanted to share this evening. I hope that you found this insightful, particularly as you read the article. And if you want to have additional dialogue, go ahead and reach out to me, message me, and I'll be more than happy for us to have a cup of tea via Zoom. Even if you would like one-to-one, you can go ahead and schedule some time with me. One more sip. I love tea, guys. I love it so much, ladies. But at any rate, thanks again for watching. Those of you who have caught it on the replay, I appreciate you. And for those of you who have been able to hop in for a few minutes live, thank you for your time as well. Again, my name is Rita Stewart, and you can connect with me at ritastewart.com. And from there, you'll learn more about what I do and how I support individuals as it relates to their personal legacy, their business legacy, and of course, with this form, your financial legacy. Until next time, blessings.